Welcome and good evening to all of you guys, to every one of you guys watching. Though this is FT Podcast. Welcome to the 10th episode of our FT Podcast. We actually made it to double digits, guys.
The big 1-0. We did have our 10th birthday party.
The fact that, especially with our podcast, we'll be talking a lot about anime and video game in general. So I hope you find this talk show entertaining. And for that, let's begin the show. So for those of you guys basically have not started on any of the animes that we'll be talking about or care to, but we hope you do, definitely will be mentioning about it in this topic in this episode. So if you want to avoid being spoiled, just stay tuned and just pretty much fast forward into the next 30 minutes. Or if anything else, though, especially since the fact that it's going to be on YouTube in a bit, just skip to the appropriate timestamp. So to kick off the show, as your host, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Kazo. I love watching anime, and when I'm not watching anime, you basically see me pretty much streaming video games such as Tekken 7, Dragon Ball FighterZ, or talking to ghosts in Phasmophobia. And to my right on my screen, we have Ray Ichi. He is one half of Ichi Gaming, and he is here to provide his insight on all things video games and anime. Not only he shares a love for Dragon Ball FighterZ, he also plays Wanga Midnight and showing the kids how to race the streets once the arcades scene opens up once again. Please say hi to the viewers.
What's up, everyone?
And to the right of him, we have Bad Rice, a man of culture as well as a host for Valorant Online Tournament. But most important thing about this, you want to take away that he is a man of culture and a man of mystery. Please lay a warm welcome for Bad Rice.
Hello.
All right. And next to him, we have our beloved MTG champion and also Valorant champion, let's say. Right? Just say it.
The last one.
Offbeat Hero. He's basically has an amazing taste of all things anime. Please look for his anime recommendations. And basically, when he's not kicking ass at MTG, you always find him, again, kicking ass in other video games such as Smash. And maybe I'm just going to put it out, man. It's Valorant, dude. It's Valorant time, baby.
Valorant.
Let's go.
Yes, I'm Offbeat Hero. And if you can figure out how to shoot a gun, I mean, maybe you'll see me playing Valorant. But till then, I'll still be looking for where the trigger is.
Well, you just point and click. How easy is that, dude? I'm telling you.
I mean, there's 2 buttons on the mouse, and that's one too many buttons for me.
All right. And last but not least, we have our newest guest for this episode, Shrintek. His favorite anime is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, followed by Bleach, being a very close second. He loves playing video games such as the Fable series, but he adores the Pokemon franchise. So if you need any tips on being a Pokemon trainer, please direct your questions to Senpai Shrintek. Please say hi.
Hello. How's it going?
All right.
I've actually been playing Pokemon Ruby lately, so I'm getting into
the original
Pokemon thing with it. The remake.
The remakes are fantastic.
So I've been talking about that one. Been some of the nostalgia of the good old days.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So since the fact that everybody's been introduced, I will now pass off the torch to our moderator, Offbeat Hero. Take it away.
So today we're the time has finally come. We've been waiting weeks. We've all seen it, whether legally or illegally. It doesn't matter. But we finally watched Demon Slayer, the movie, Mugen Train. And we're gonna go into the deep dive here. So I mean, if you haven't seen it, one, what are you doing with your life? And 2, major spoilers, because we're probably gonna go deep into the whole thing here. We're not gonna be holding back. The show is crazy. I mean, for me, it definitely lived up to the hype that was set. But we're gonna pass it off to my good friend Ray. I think out of us, he was the first one to watch it. So what are your thoughts? What do you think?
Well, correction, I was not the first one to watch it.
Oh.
But I was actually the first one to watch it twice.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Because it was just so good that I had to watch it twice.
I mean, I'm definitely thinking, maybe I should watch it again. Just seeing these gifs above us here, I'm just oh, remember Mugen Train? We should watch the movie again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In terms of the movie, there was just like as you said, a lot of things like was coming into it. Like there was so much hype. A lot of people wanted to go and see it. Like what does it come with and everything. But the fact that it continued on from the anime to the movie, it really built up a lot of that hype coming into it. And not only that, like the animation and everything was super great. Like the voice acting, like whether you watch in English or in Japanese, was like really really good. And it like it had everything. It had everything from amazing fights to really dramatic scenes. There was some tears involved. I cried a few times. It was just that good.
Yeah, no, they really went for like the gut punch with this one. I felt like right away they were just like, let's just punch the viewers right in the heart like several times.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Just, I mean, we can probably break up our like discussion here into like the 3 acts. So how I guess I would break them up to the first act is probably the like dream sequence bit, right? Where they're all like asleep and they're trying to figure out what the heck's going on. And then you have Act 2 where you had the battle with the demon. I've already forgotten the like demon's name though. Does anybody know? Does anybody remember the actual train guy?
He was one of the lower 6.
Yeah, he was like
like the demon on the train
or something. Yeah, like what was his name?
I think it was Enmu. I just watched it last night, and I'm already
Right.
Enmu.
Enmu.
All right. So then Act 2 was the initial confrontation with like Enmu, and then the fucking train plot twist. And then finally, the final act was like after they had beaten Enmu there. So, Kaza, what did you think of the like first act, the kind of lead up to getting onto the train, and then the like fake out dream sequence part?
The portion of like the fact with the dream sequence, it was actually pretty dope. But
Right.
Before we continue on though, can I just get a moment's silence for Rengoku, please?
Oh, our boy Rengoku.
I just want to put that in, like.
Yeah.
That was a feels bad. I mean, I saw the like flags that the movie was giving us, but even when it happened, I was like, "Fuck!" They like actually did it. They like brought this guy in and then took him away just as quickly. Oh,
like
so rough.
My cousin, like I was sending you guys pictures that she was watching it in the theaters, and she the fact that she came out of it the theaters, and then she was telling me, "It's like, yo, cuz," I was like, "What's up?" It's like, everyone be mad sniffing like after like fun. I'm like, why would people do that? It's the greatest movie. But I could see why. I mean, maybe it's the action, maybe it's all that. And I figured after watching this, I know now. Wow, that's it. Damn, dude. But getting sidetracked here though, the whole dream sequence was just amazing. Just like looking back, like even from the gifts itself though, when you have like Inosuke pretty much freaking out those kids like inside the town. Oh man, that was priceless. And Zenitsu, when he was literally living his dream.
He's living his best life in there.
Right?
Yep.
It was super priceless, and I thought that was like probably the best. Like though the lighthearted tone of this whole thing before it just gets batshit crazy towards like as the movie progresses. It was amazing, but I still enjoyed it overall. Yeah, but damn.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. One thing that I took away from this movie and I really appreciated is there's been a lot of anime movies over big series in the past that like they almost always feel like filler episodes.
Yeah.
Where it's just like they can be fantastic, they can be amazing, great storyline, whatever, but it's like it never really brings weight to the story. It's just kind of like, oh, that happened on this day, whenever the.
Yeah, everyone loses their memories or whatever, and then it's like, okay.
Yeah. But like everything about this movie was just like it felt like the first act as well felt like watching one grand episode, and then the second act pulled that together again and did it in a way where it's just like, okay, now we've affected the story moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so like getting that like kind of extra deep dive into each character as well, how their own kind of inner world works and whatnot. Both
Is it really a deep dive though?
I thought it was. I thought it was
In
interesting.
this case, was literally just like a random like small like or a low level like fucking RPG game. The man like you can see him. He just runs through a fucking cave and offers like nuts to get people to do things right.
Yeah, I mean, it just shows kind of
These nuts.
more what these characters' motivations are, you know,
Yeah.
like and like how they view some of their comrades, right? Without being like told, you know, it's I don't know. I liked it for me because it was a very nice way of doing the whole like show don't tell kind of story writing, where you know, instead of telling us like what like Inosuke thinks of his adventuring party, they just showed us. They're like he clearly thinks he's the hero of his own story, and these other guys are just a bunch of like goons that he hired to like hang out with him, and that are just around and easily bought with like food, right? We saw it in like fucking Zenitsu. What this was more of a like what he like wishes it could be like, you know. He gets the girl. He uses his power when he's fully awake at full power, right? He just like living his best life out there.
In the between, especially with like the whole dream sequence, it definitely gives me that sort of Naruto vibes when everyone was put into that sort of state, when everyone else was dreaming, everybody, the whole like Ninja War was dreaming in their own sort of
You mean
like.
the infinite Tsukishi?
There you go,
Tsukiyomi?
Tsukiyomi. Yeah.
Tsukiyomi.
Yeah.
That's right. Thank you. That
Bro,
I was
you're
like,
the Naruto nerd. Why am I correcting you? Come on.
I'm testing you, man.
I gave Naruto like a 5, dude. Come
The
on.
student has surpassed the master.
That's right. But yeah,
Go ahead, Beatrice.
I thought it was interesting, but like I didn't have any issues with it. I thought it was a good way, of course, of exposition. Out there, because I'd show, not tells. Overall, though, like I'm just so fucking upset because I was really hoping Zenitsu was just gonna be asleep the entire time and just like an absolute god. Like, how amazing would that be if you just saw Zenitsu just being like unstoppable, just because this enemy didn't expect someone to be OP in their sleep, but he didn't really pop off that much. Like he does, like, you know, save Nezuko at one point and does like
he did a
little bit, but like this is literally the like conditions that he needs to be the most OP, and he did like maybe 2 minutes of decent like fighting, and then the rest was like Inosuke and Tanjiro and Rengoku, and like that, like it's not really a real criticism because, you know, that's just like the direction that the movie was supposed to go.
Right.
But like, I'm just a little sad we didn't get to see more of our little lightning boy going off.
Yeah, I can see that. Like, if they had replaced Inosuke's role with like with Zenitsu's role, then maybe it would have been better to see kind of him like pop off with his like OP sleepiness.
Bro, just completely asleep, like that would be so sick.
Yeah, the power doesn't work on him because he's like already asleep,
or that he's OP when he's asleep.
Yeah.
But yeah, dream sequence was nice. Overall, I thought it was nice and heartwarming. I hated the fucking reason that the kid didn't fucking stab Tanjiro's heart, where he's just like, "Oh, I just felt warm and it was nice and I didn't want to hurt him." Like, come on.
It's because inside was like so nice, you know. He was too guilty about it, you know, because this was just like a bunch of kids that were like crippled or like sick that were coaxed into this, right? So like they still have like a conscience. It's not like they're like just evil for the sake of being evil.
So basically, instead, it's like that kid just got the feels, and then he just gave up.
Yeah, you know, he just felt real bad because I mean, he was just like, "Okay, here it is. This is what you want, right?" And he's like, "Oh, I can't do it now," you know.
Tanjiro's superpower was just being fucking too loved by even characters in the show.
No, I get it. Like his like inner soul even like told the kid toward it. Like he was so willing to just help anyone and everything.
Yeah.
If I was evil, I'd be a little moved by that.
Right. And the fire Hashira
Rengoku.
I just loved his like fucking chokehold. That was like one of like I mean there was like a lot of great comedy moments in this show actually that just like I felt blended seamlessly with the storytelling. Nothing too much. I mean there was like a few times, but most of the humor didn't feel like just a random gag that they just kind of shoved in. A lot of it seemed connected to the characters in a meaningful way as things that they would like reasonably do in that situation.
Right.
And so yeah, so I mean, even though it wasn't maybe meant as like a moment of like hilarity, I thought it was so funny that like he just like chokeholds this like a girl when she gets too close to his like soul, heart, whatever it's called. And then just like the whole time when they've been doing like the other dream sequences or like flashing around to like different scenes, I'm like, is that girl still getting just choked out? And yeah, eventually you flashes back to Rengoku, and it's just like the chick is still hanging there, still getting choked out by this guy who is still asleep, just standing there. I was like, oh my god, what a
But I know
legend.
she didn't die because the man, he was legit just choking her enough. That's it.
Yeah.
Just enough. Okay.
Just enough, you know, like just to the point where it's not too hot, but also like, you know, stopping her from doing shit.
Yeah. He's like, I you know, I have to like remove the like danger. I have done that. These are the like conditions to keep me safe, and I'm going to keep doing that. He's just like standing like choking this person who's trying to kill him, just like still asleep. Oh my god, I thought it was so great. And then even the like introduction of him on the train of him just like eating delicious over and over again. That was so fun. Oh man, what a great character. I'm super sad that they had to like I get why they killed him off, but oh man.
Actually, it's a good direction with how they started like as a light tone, because you know it's again it's gonna go dark real quick afterwards, and had they done it opposite, then I'm like, all right, yeah, everybody wins. It's a comedic one, but this one's like, all right, let's enjoy this whole moment while before it just gets real.
Right.
I have a hot take.
Go.
Yeah.
In regards to that,
Sure.
Rengoku is not that great of a character,
Really?
and it's not really a criticism of Rengoku himself. It's more of a criticism how the Shearers are kind of formed, right?
Yeah.
Because they all they personify like a specific trait of like, you know, who they are. You got Mr. Forgetful, you get Mrs. Loves Everything. It's just like a little bit. I get that it's like, you know, not meant to be super serious, but like it's a little too much for me in my opinion. Because it's just like you got Mr. Forgetful who's just forgetting things, and like, you know, you got super passionate like Rengoku, and you got like the girl who literally loves everything. Like it's just too much. It just overdoes it in my opinion, and I feel like if they toned it back a bit more, it might be a little better. And like a good example would I think Brandon's gonna like, and Derek, is Bleach. Like I like the way that they kind of set up their captains, right? Like you had different personalities, but they weren't like so overly personified that, you know, it kind of like was their only real defining trait to their personality, you know?
Yeah, like in Bleach, you could like, it felt like you were watching real people that were in that kind of situation, where Demon Slayer definitely has a nature to it that I agree is it's a little over the top, a little too characterish at times.
The best example I can give is let's even just go into a more caring character like Noitra, fourth captain, healer captain, or whatever, right? Like her character is shown to be like a very motherly, a very caring character with, you know, serious tendencies, but that she doesn't like jerk that shit around, right? Like it's legitimately like, yeah, that's just, you know, how my personality is, and you know, I have, you know, other defining traits to who I am. I get angry when I need to. I'm like a little sadistic. For a little spoiler for those who haven't read the manga yet, like there's layers and like, you know, decent depth to the character, and that's just something that's missing from Demon Slayer, right? Now, not to say that, you know, Rengoku doesn't have, you know, some layers to his character, but they're not realistic enough for me. You know, it doesn't feel human. It feels like you programmed a robot to have this personality, and we're watching it in play.
Yeah, I can see that, I guess. He is just like a caricature of like passion, I suppose. Which does make him a little less like realistic. Doesn't make him any less fun to watch, I guess. I still enjoyed him.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I mean, I do get what you're saying. Like, yeah, the various Hashira are just like fucking inside out emotions just in a person, right?
Oh
But,
yeah, and if you look at the show, like, as a standalone, and you don't compare it to, like, I don't know, Bleach or whatever, right?
yeah,
Like, it's bearable. It's not like hugely detrimental to the show, but to me, it just like kind of took a bit away from it. But that's just like the nature of Demon Slayer, so I can't really
I
fault
think
the
it is,
movie
yeah.
for that.
I mean,
Yeah.
even our like main like trio are also kind of like personifications of like a caricature instead of like a
Yeah.
totally reasonable character, right?
We are also only like one season in a movie in, so like even with this movie itself, it's like I think we're really in store for the next few seasons of getting a lot more of that deeper character development for a lot of other characters.
Yeah.
Certainly hope so, at least. Especially when it comes to our little lightning boy. Like, I'd love to see him realize his power when he's awake.
Right.
I'm so curious already, and I know that's not coming for a while.
Yeah, for sure. But another thing about the main characters is I actually don't think they are caricatures, with the exception of like Inosuke. Inosuke is, of course, your meme character, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Zenitsu is into some degree, but he has at least the story and his personality has different traits to it. You got like super angry Zenitsu when he finds out like they've been playing with like training of girls all day, and like there's different like faces to it essentially.
Mhm.
And it sometimes it's humorous, sometimes it's serious, like when it was dealing with his grandpa and stuff.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't say he has that. And Tanjiro himself also like has multiple layers to his
Oh, yeah.
personality. You got like his angry side. He is very nice, but when you
Mhm.
bring up his family, like you saw, like
Yeah.
he was straight up pissed, and that was really a driving force behind the way he was reacting in the movie. And I think it's a little bit. I think it's incorrect to say that they act as caricatures, as in a similar way to the Hashiras, who are more one-dimensional.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
But I did like because I mean the bulk of Act 1 was about Tanjiro and his little dream sequence, him getting his family back, and like living his like best life. And while incredibly sad, I thought it was great to like kind of see him work through that and figure out that it was like a dream, and then being able to like then figure out how to break out of it, being like, oh, if you die in the dream, then you wake up. Which I mean makes his battle with fucking Mugen Train with
Enmu.
Enmu.
so much more hardcore and metal, right? Because when he's fighting, right, he keeps like snapping him asleep, keeps breaking out of it. He's under the impression that he's like dispelling the spell somehow. But of course, he then eventually figures out like, oh no, he's just killing himself every single time in the dream over and over again, which is just like so metal. Oh my god, I was so hyped over that. I was like, shit.
Oh yeah.
This guy is so just determined to get this done right that and so rooted in reality that he's willing to give up like basically what he wants, right? He would love to have just like his family back and have everything, have none of this be real, have like reality be the dream and have dream be the reality, and to like constantly give that up by killing yourself. It's just like, holy, what a boss.
I was worried at that scene that it might like backfire on him.
That's what I was thinking, which they
yeah.
then did bait us with later in the like same like act, where it's like, is one of these times he's gonna be awake and he's gonna kill himself for realsies? Because like, holy shit, that did almost happen. I was waiting for it. I was like, they're gonna do it, but like when?
Shout outs to friendship, man. That's it.
Yeah.
Inosuke like holding him
it was a
down.
good
I was
scene,
like,
too.
oh, that was crazy. That was an incredible scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I got a hot take.
Sure.
Always.
The big boss train guy
Yeah.
was weaker and lamer than Rui, the little spider boy.
The spider dude.
Yep.
Possibly, yeah.
I
Well-
agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it depends on how you would define like their power, right? Like, I mean, to be honest, Tanjiro kind of plot armored his way out of being asleep, right? I mean, his like dad or whatever was like, I don't know, giving him messages or some shit. I can't remember exactly what happened, but in his dream thing, I remember his dad, like, sending him some sort of like mental message where it's like,
No, it was
this isn't,
Nezuko.
Nezuko.
was it Nezuko?
Well,
Yeah,
no,
Nezuko's blood.
Yeah, Nezuko used her like blood fire, and it like started his wake up. But then right before, because he couldn't figure out what he needed to do to actually wake up, he knew he was in the dream, and he had like a flash of his father that like popped in. I can't remember what he said, but he basically gave him the hint of just like, or what you have to cut is within reach.
Yeah, you have to cut something. So you have to cut or something is nearby. And I mean, if that didn't happen, like, I mean, would it be woken up? I don't know. So he got a little bit of plot armor out of it. So, I mean,
Yeah, definitely some.
So taking that into account, I would say that this train boy is pretty strong. Because, like, I mean, you had the big, like, twist where, I mean, he was the whole train. He was the train the whole time.
The train the whole time.
Right? He was playing a regular Thomas the Tank Engine on us. Which, honestly, I was really hoping for a big dumb face on the front of the train, That didn't happen. But
Oh man.
if Tanjiro hadn't have woken up, I'm fairly certain that they all would have died. Because, like, sure, Rengoku, like, stopped his, like, assailant from killing him or whatever, right? But that didn't, like, save him,
True, but like this guy's power is legit. Just like this man is basically hypnosis, like the move.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Like how powerful is hypnosis in Pokemon? Not that great. Let's be honest.
I mean, it's pretty
Like
good.
Rui like shit on like Tanjiro, shit on like everyone, and then he got his ass cut by like a fucking Hashira. But like Tanjiro, like he straight up was like trying like. He could stand toe to toe against this guy, and like the difference was like I guess you could say he went through a bit of a breathing training arc and stuff.
Yeah.
But how much did that really increase his power and like?
I mean, quite a bit, right? He learned the was it the like constant breathing or whatever, right? The like total concentration, like where he's focused all the time, right? So I mean, that's like definitely a big bump up of power level, right?
I guess, but like at the same time, like I guess it's just the way the power is represented in the show versus the way it's represented like in the movie.
Yeah.
In the movie, it's really just the thing he's fighting against is really just a powerful gimmick, you know. And in the show, when he fights against Rui, it's actually like a very powerful demon instead, right?
Yep.
And actually considered to be one of the strongest of the lower five. So I don't know. It felt a little underwhelming, even though, like, at least for me, right? Like, he just beats the big bad train by chopping its neck, and it feels unsatisfying when he like actually gets the win against this guy because the dude didn't even seem that tough. Like, he was a fucking train, but like,
I mean, also like he was against like 5, I guess, if you count like Nezuko, right? Like. I don't know. I don't think you're like, yes, the train hypnosis is like a gimmick. It's like a cheese strat, right? It's like, I'm gonna beat my enemy without even fighting them. So I'm gonna put them to sleep and I'm gonna like assassinate them, right?
Right.
And they'll never know what happened. Which yeah, is like a big like cheese move. But I mean, I don't think that in itself makes him any less or makes him like weaker as a whole. It's still a very strong power where you're seamlessly put to sleep, right? There was no moment where they were like, oh, like I'm asleep now, right? It was just like reality, sleep. And they all probably would have died if Tanjiro hadn't plot armored his way out of it. Also, I mean, they were also just lucky that like they didn't that the demon didn't know that like Nezuko was like in the box, right? Nezuko just kind of like fell out of the box. It was like, what's going on?
I guess that would have changed the whole perspective as a whole. I mean, the whole storyline is like if Nezuko
Mhm.
would have just stayed in the box, and that's it, and everybody
Yeah.
else.
That's pretty
Yeah.
much the whole show in a funny way.
If Nezuko stayed in the box, none of this would have happened.
Yep.
So I still think I still think he was like a very strong like demon when you take all this into account on how I guess like lucky team Demon Slayer squad got, because they got super lucky, right? A lot of it was just like luck. They were hook, line, and sinker. They ran right into it. They were all knocked out. They were about to get gnawed by this fucking demon train. But can we talk about what I think is the quite questionable CGI in this movie? I think is like, for me, the only blemish on this film is when he merges with the like train and you get the tentacles and the like weird goop. I mean, it just looks so terrible to me.
Maybe I've seen too much bad CGI, but I didn't think it was that bad. I
Really?
thought it was like, it wasn't the greatest CGI I've ever fucking seen, right? Because that goes to Land of the Illustrious, best CGI anime ever, no cap.
Yeah.
But like I thought it was pretty appropriately used. It was like it didn't take away from the show or the movie itself, right? It was just like their way of kind of saving a little bit of cost with animating that whole train bullshit.
Right.
No, it's very true. Animation is a lot tougher. Like, there's a term where it comes to like when, especially for anime, when you see a lot of the same shot of like the characters' lips aren't moving or any of that, but they're still having like dialogue going. It's saving your lines or saving your line work, because like animation takes so much, and this show has so much fluidity to it that like it takes them forever and probably costs them a ton to do that kind of animation. Where that CG, it's still tough, but it saves so much time, so much cheaper in the long run.
Yeah, I'll excuse what I would say as like shoddy CG work, because I mean the rest of the show has fantastic animation, right? There is no like weak points. It feels just like you're watching like episode 24 of a season 1. Everything just flows together so nicely. I think
you mean episode 19, right?
Is episode 19 the one with the? Is it really 19?
You're confusing it with Jujutsu Kaisen, my dude.
Do we have like 4 or 5 episodes of like wrap up after the big one?
That's the whole breathing shit.
I guess so. Man.
Remember?
But yeah, episode 19, where I mean you can. I'm sure you all know that like when you watch a like anime to movie, you can feel the up in production quality when you're watching it, right? You're like, this is not the week to week show. This is like movie quality here. This is looking extra smooth. And I felt that everything around it was so good looking, aside from this CG. So I mean, I'll let them cut some corners on some CG tentacles, because the rest was just it's so beautiful to watch. But anybody else think this CG was just terrible or what?
I mean, it definitely didn't look very good.
I agree with it not looking very good. The only thing that I think it was a lot more of a saving grace was that the fact that like everything else was just so good that they just let everything let it go. They're like, you know what, like everything that's coming right after this is so much better.
Yeah.
I admire the fact that you guys actually kind of point out the details in that, but because like when I was watching the movie, I actually didn't realize what was like if there was any fault to begin with, and especially like in terms of the CG.
Right.
Either or I'm just really not watching like really good anime stuff. But the point is, like the way I've seen it, I'm like, I was been entertained, and it just pretty much got me pretty much immersed into the storyline. And then with the whole action scene, it just seemed so like seamless that it segues up from one end to another, to it like from each act to the next. So I'm like, and at the end of it, I'm like, wow, what a freaking adventure. Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just like because everything around the CG looks so good that it makes the CG look extra bad next to it.
Yeah, it's kind of like the weird uncanny valley thing. It was just jarring more than anything. It's like other animes have done the same thing, and some have done it well. Like Full Metal Alchemist did it for the villain Envy when it turns into this big, like, demonic homunculus dragon thing. It looked good in that context, but it had the same jarring sense of just like it just looks off.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that it's bad. It just it's got a weird tone to it.
Like, I mean, I did research in between terms of like how, especially with Mugen Train came to be in terms of like how much awards it had gone through. I did some little bit of notes in between. So basically, this movie broke box office records, obviously, for like being the highest grossing film of all time in Japan. And 2020 was actually the biggest year for Mugen Train, like by far, because at that moment, like when it came out, okay, so I'll just name a couple of awards, but dang, it was one best animation film, best director, best song of the year, animation of the year as a whole, and then it pretty much went through a little bit of like nominations and got some runner-ups and just won a few awards this year. So Mugen Train is nothing to scoff at. Either that or basically set the bar for future animated movies if they're gonna end up like bringing it to that point. So I don't know how would any other future animated movies that would come up, especially like movies like say Jujutsu Kaisen, like with that prequel coming up in a bit, like prequel movie.
Yeah, I mean, definitely some competition coming up for our precious Mugen Train. I mean, Juju like swept the nation, right? I mean, everyone's talking about Jujutsu Kaisen, but I don't know if it has quite the following of Demon Slayer. Because I mean, Demon Slayer, he had like random celebrities on Twitter, talk about Demon Slayer. I can't remember exactly who it was, but it was like some random that like you wouldn't expect to be like talking about anime. You're like, what? This guy's watching Demon Slayer since when?
But
so,
isn't that a little bit early to be, saying that? Because Jujutsu Kaisen did just come out like a season ago, right? And it had widespread, appeal to a lot of people. I saw people from like, Marvel and DC backgrounds getting into how crazy the animation is, and it's not like it didn't have its high points, but or low points, but it still was like a very good show. I think the only differentiating element was episode 19 had more emotional impact and a lot more, investment required, while Jujutsu Kaisen is more just, unbelievable animation. Also, I found out someone recently watched all of Demon Slayer on like 2 or 3x speed, and I actually puked in my mouth.
Oh,
why would you do that to yourself?
Yeah.
I mean, Zenitsu's fast enough. Why do you gotta make him faster, dude? Like, come on. You already can't see him. Come on, chill. But moving on, unless anybody else has any other closing remarks on Act 2.
Nope.
So we see our hero Tanjiro finish off the train by cutting his fucking train spine. Train crashes, of course. I mean, that's what trains do. And the movie fakes us out. They give us the kind of closure bit. Tanjiro got like shanked by like a wrench or something. By a rando train conductor because he couldn't kill him. He's got to be all nice and shit. Couldn't deflect a goddamn screwdriver.
This man could cut like super fast coming webs that were like literally lightning speed, but a normal guy with a fucking screwdriver, oh god forbid.
Dude, he can't do it because he's a human. can't cut the human.
Well, it's not that he couldn't cut the human. He had a sword. He could have deflected the human,
Yeah.
It's just that, because it was human, the reactions were just, too slow. Because what if he hurt the human by deflecting the screwdriver or some dumb shit like that?
Yeah, that was a little bit iffy, him getting that stab there. I feel like they just had to do that to, like, get him wounded. I don't know.
They legit cut this dude. all over during like episode 19, and then like he gets like jabbed in the side. He's like, "Oh, I'm done for, guys. I'm done for."
That's it. If I move anymore, I'm gonna die. And then we learn that I guess breathing there's really no end to breathing techniques. Because I mean, I apparently breathe because apparently if you breathe hard enough, you can even close up your wounds a little bit, which is kind of wild. Also, I just like keep forgetting that like Tundra has like a smelling superpower that they just like bring once in a while. Just random thought there. I mean, just the some of the I do like how this show uses breathing as its main like power source and power level thing gauge, right? DBZ has fucking scanners and base levels of like Super Saiyan, and Demon Slayer has breathing and even harder breathing. If you breathe real hard, you can beat the next guy, and so when the new guy will come, you gotta breathe even harder. But anyway, they crash this train. We're baited into a lull, into a false sense of security when we get one of the higher. How many? There 8? Is there 8, 9? These like demons.
levels.
What's the actual number? Yeah.
There are 5 higher ranks.
Just 5? All right, just 5. So we get one of the 5 show up, one of the big 5. And I mean, the show has been built up the big 5 for like a while now.
Right.
They've been trying to like flex on us with these like lower 5, being like, these guys are like the fucking bottom tier and they're still kicking our asses. So just wait till you see one of these higher 5 guys. They're gonna really kick your ass. And there's a huge battle. So Shrintek, what did you think of that this kind of final hurrah?
I mean, it was pretty dang fantastic, to be honest. It's there's not a lot of animes that I get so into this early on. Mm-hmm. But like Demon Slayer, like I've watched the series like 3 times now.
Wow. Nice.
And it just I don't know, especially when it comes to like some of these shonen animes, they're just fantastic. I was basically in tears by the end of this movie. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of just a little at a loss for words, to be honest.
Yeah, it was definitely. I mean, the final fight sequence was pretty fucking fantastic. I'm not sure why that like higher 5 guy was here. That felt a little bit convenient that he just like showed up. I can't remember if they even like explained why he was there, or if he just like was there for a good brawl. Because I mean, I really do enjoy his character. I thought he was super fun. How he's not like he's like evil, but he's not just like meh evil. He just wants to like have a good time. He wants to have a really good brawl, and he wants to and he wants someone that he can fight like forever. He doesn't want like the fighting to end. He just loves fighting guys.
So he's basically a Saiyan.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, basically a Saiyan.
Just loves fighting. That's all he loves to do. And I mean, you can definitely feel how he was almost like sad that Rengoku just like didn't want to become a demon. He's like all this wasted potential just like thrown away. He's just like so hurt by that. I thought it was super fun just seeing this, because I mean the Mugen Train guy, he was like almost generically evil. He's just like, I'm evil. I'm gonna eat the people on this train because I'm a demon and that's what demons do. This guy shows up. He doesn't want to eat anybody. He's just like, I just want to have a really good brawl, and I want this guy to become a demon so that we can fight forever, because that would be really fun. Bad Rice, do you have any hot takes here on this big final battle?
I kind of liked it.
Kind of liked it.
Wow.
I like the fact that Rengoku died. I thought it was definitely the highlight of the movie. Overall, like the only thing that really just like there's not actually anything I could really complain about it. It is a little over convenient that homie just showed up.
Yeah.
But I think he actually explains that he was there to kill a Hashira. Essentially, he was
Okay.
sent there by Muzan. But yeah,
Right.
still pretty dumb in terms of convenience.
Yeah.
And, like-
it felt super out of the blue for me. You know, I was like, whoa, like, where's
Like,
this
I
guy
just
coming
hate
from?
the idea of like I gotta be honest here.
Yeah.
Now this is what I hate is this plot hole. You're demon slayers, right?
Mhm.
You have a limited amount. The demon slayers are all busy. The Hashiras are all busy, right?
Mhm.
Because like, that's why they couldn't send more than one to this mission because, oh no, like you can't have too many Hashiras in the same place or
Yeah,
some
can't
bullshit,
put
right? Like,
all your eggs in one basket, you know?
why not, right? Like, you got to protect your assets, but they're like, no, we'll just send one. He'll be all right. And of course, motherfucker dies, and it's like, well, you're down like one OP guy now. Congratulations on making that mistake. And then you have the scene of him like walking around the graveyard, going like, all these people died, and all this like, I'm so sad that they died, and it's my fault. Well, yeah, it's strictly your fault because just send a fucking like Hashira like squad there, like there's a solution to this. It's called the Justice League of Hashiras. Like you it's just so like short-sighted, and it hella gets on my nerves because it's just like they're constantly like from what I can tell, they get lots of demon slayers, join the leagues.
Mhm.
They go through this stupid test that like apparently half of them don't even complete.
Yeah.
And then they go and become demon slayers, and they just like they're literally cannon fodder. They're like, we've sent like 12 of these low grade guys, and they all died. So maybe we'll send one higher. Okay, no, that didn't work. Let's send about 10 of these guys at this grade. Oh, they all died. Should we send a Hashira? Nah, let's just keep sending more dudes. Let's send fucking Tanjiro and his friends to go deal with this shit. Like, it's just. It's an artificial problem.
I guess
is
so, yeah.
My opinion on that,
So,
like-
so your main gripe is why not more Hashiras?
Why not?
I mean, because they're busy.
Oh yeah, okay.
There's
What do you
problems
mention that? They're busy,
elsewhere.
but they all got their like letters, and legit half of them are just jerking off. Like one dude literally just getting lost in the forest. You're like, yo, this guy's busy, yo. Like,
Yeah, he's
If-
busy, dude. He's
if no
tracking
one's lost in
someone.
that forest, like, who will, right? Like, God,
Alright,
big
so-
problem.
So they said 2 Hashiras to solve your problem here. Then
Yeah.
what if there's 2 higher guys that show up? Then
Well,
what?
I want you to bring up. I just want to bring up. I did say the Justice League of Hashiras.
See what all of them.
You might
just
say,
be a
oh yeah, they're all busy.
squad at
There's
all
one dude
times.
who's legit just cutting bamboo with his sword. The dude is literally me when I was fucking 10 years old and I got a katana. Like, what is the fucking point of that shit, right? Like, he's just chopping like shit.
Training, I don't know.
Well, here's the thing though, like,
She's like, I
Fighting a
hate
demon
demons. It's like,
bamboo, dude.
yo, what if you had just sent this dude to go fight the demon? Wouldn't that have solved like 12 different issues? And what if you just sent fucking 5 of them? Because there's 5 big bad guys, right? Well, 5 big bad guys versus 5 Hashiras seems like a much more fair fight.
I mean, what if that guy cutting bamboo? What if the bamboo was also a demon? I mean, we've seen demon trains. You can't say demon bamboo is out of the question. Okay.
maybe he's
You don't
practicing
know
his
what they're doing.
breathing technique.
Yeah.
Practicing his demon tech or his special fucking breathing technique to cut bamboo. Like in this show, they're cutting like fucking mountains, and he's like, you know what? I need to cut some basic shit that humans cut. Bamboo.
You gotta revisit the basics, once in a while. You can't just be doing the high level stuff all the time.
So that's my gripe. It's just a dumb plot hole that Demon Slayer adds that essentially is convenient enough to allow demons to survive. When in reality, you could just send 5 of these dudes who literally teleport when they fucking walk around.
Well, you
So,
do realize like
in your
Tanjiro has like
opinion-
plot armor, right?
Oh yeah, so they sent Tanjiro, and guess what happened? Their fucking Hashira died. What's your point?
The fact that
Wait,
they don't
wait,
have.
how's your
your
plot hole gonna-
solution to this is to just bundle all the Hashira together and just have to move around a little squad as like solving problems as a 12-person
I'm sorry. What does Marvel do?
I mean, you know,
Have you ever heard of
sometimes
X-Men?
Iron Man does his own shit. You know, sometimes Thor does his own shit. You know,
Oh
sometimes
yeah, they
someone's
do
always
their
there with them.
shit. But when they get their asses kicked, they're not gonna be like, oh damn, you know, I better just go back and get my ass kicked by like 5 dudes. It's like, yo, bring the squad. We're fucking like we're on sighting these motherfuckers, right?
I mean,
Like
know, you get-
you really think Iron Man was gonna be able to 1v1 Ultron? Hell no.
I mean, technically, they did lose in Infinity War because they were split up.
Wow, you're just proving my
You
point.
know?
Yeah.
I'm just saying that it happens. People, it's not like it's like a dumb plot hole that they weren't just like chained together as like a little chain link Hashira squad. They got other shit going on. There's other problems around the world.
Yeah, those
There's other
problems would be
demons
easy
than
to.
just the train.
They would easily be able to handle those problems if they just fucking stack them. Because guess what? Less Hashiras would be dead.
Also, technically, they did accomplish the goal that they were set out to do, and it wasn't that hard. They beat the train. It's not like they were like, "Hey, go fight this train," and then also look out, one of the higher fives is going to show up. They were just, this was just a train mission. They were like, "Go beat the train." They did it.
I want you to consider that of the Hashiras, multiples of them have been getting killed by these upper 5 dudes. Like, assassinations happen pretty commonly, as they were stating in the movie. Now, when you think about that, would you, as the boss, think, sending one person on these missions, or keeping one person by themselves all these times, is a great idea? No, you wouldn't.
I mean, he wasn't by himself. He had, Tanjiro and the Goon Squad.
Again, you're not making a good case here. How'd that go for them, huh?
Don't send the Teen Titans to go and deal with the Justice League problem.
Yeah, there we go. That's a good explanation.
Yeah.
You're telling fucking Robin, hey, yo, I want you to fucking fight Thanos for us here.
I mean,
What's
Raven
Robin gonna
might be
do,
able to
dude?
it. Starfire might be able to do it. They're pretty tough. Part of the Teen Titans.
Dude, they lost to they're okay. I don't know if you know this, but the Teen Titans' biggest bad guy is literally Batman. Not Batman himself, but the guy is literally just a martial artist who has gadgets and is evil. That's it. His name is
He's really
Slade.
smart though. He's really smart though.
Oh wow. Oh great. Like God forbid if one of these supervillains were smart. Like God, Darkseid. Oh, that guy's probably dumb as fuck.
Yeah, dude.
Slade
You
has
do
regenerative
gotta
abilities, though. So I mean, he's literally like that.
Regenerative abilities.
Yeah.
Who?
Slade.
He can regenerate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Wolverine shit.
Basic. Not as fast as like
Not quite
Wolverine,
as
but
good, but I mean,
yeah.
And so this one dude has been 1v5ing fucking Teen Titans, and you're like, yo, this man with fucking 5 Infinity Stones who literally 1v12 the fucking Avengers? Yeah, let's just send the Teen Titans against them. Maybe their plot armor will save them.
I mean, to be fair, they did send the Teen Titans plus one Justice League member to deal with a Teen Titan threat. And then Thanos showed up. Alright? They were prepared.
they crossing
Honestly,
universes now.
Fucking...
You're, I'm
Ultron
sensing-
walked out of the woods, right? They didn't think that was going to happen.
I'm sensing a bit of a trend here. It's like we keep losing Hashiras, so now we're short on Hashiras. So we better just split them up even more.
I don't think the issue is really them splitting up the Hashira. I think the biggest issue is that instead of plot armor, Rengoku had a plot hole in his chest.
Oh, there it is.
Ooh.
I mean, that was...
Oh, let's
I
go.
mean, I was like, dude,
It was very
keep
metal.
him there till the sun comes up, and I was ready for like the big trade. So I was a little bit sad when that plan did not come to fruition there.
I agree. It royally pissed me off when he escaped, when he got away from that hole.
That was pretty sad. But I did enjoy Tanjiro's little like speech, being like, you guys are like the weak ones, dude. You guys came in walk in the sunlight, you pussy ass bitches. I thought that was sick.
Like call out in between. It's like, yo, don't be
Yeah.
running out.
Yeah. Also,
That was pretty cool.
I know that Kate will get mad at me if I don't bring this up, so I'm gonna bring it up now.
Nice.
Because this was her biggest gripe in the movie. Kevin's biggest gripe was how come there weren't 3 Hashiras here. Her biggest gripe is where is Tanjiro's sword? Where is it now? Because he javelin that thing and that guy, and he kept running. And what does he get it back? Is it gone? Is it just? Where is it?
I think that's why he was calling him out, so in an assumption that he might turn back, so he can get his sword back. But he never did. He just ran with the sword.
Because
Don't worry.
They've been jerking off Tanjiro's black sword since like the day he got it. They're always like, a black sword. What does this mean? I don't know what kind of Hashira this is. What kind of power do you have? Blah, 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 blah. And the dude just throws it away and it just runs off into the woods. And now, like, where the fuck is it? Did the demon guy just like take it out and throw it to the side? And he has to go like comb through the brush and the bushes and the dirt to find his sword in the middle of the fucking woods. Like, where's the sword? Where is it?
Don't worry. Akaza will just send it back to him express shipping, no big deal.
The Amazon Prime, man, that's it.
Homie's been losing swords. I think that's the theme. He doesn't take care of his swords, so he just loses them.
So is he gonna get a new one?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure every time he beats a big bad guy, he's just gonna lose his sword. Like they're gonna look at the bill and be like, "Yo, this Tanjiro guy is not taking care of his equipment," and then they're gonna give him like some like weird like waiver where he has to sign, or it's like the next time you use your sword, it's coming out of your pay.
There we go. Like Mila is saying in this chat. She was just distracted during like the fucking sad part where we're all mourning over Rengoku's death, and she's just like, but the sword though. Where's the sword? I'd be able to focus more on the sad moment if I wasn't also thinking about where this fucking sword is.
I had one weird little gripe with it. Specifically, it's like they went through all the time and trouble to save everybody on the train from that demon.
Okay.
And then the train crashes. And what happened to all the people?
They were injured. I think they did confirm that there was no casualties. But everyone got fucked up.
I don't believe that.
No, you think they just like
this train?
No casualties means no casualties, including that one dude who literally had a train on him.
Exactly.
But the guy who shanked Tanjiro, did he get stuck underneath the fucking train and they saved him anyway? Even though, like, Inosuke's like, dude, just let him bleed out. He's like, no, bro. He's just a very misguided mechanic who doesn't know how to use his tools properly. He thinks screwdrivers are for stabbing instead of for screwing in things. But yeah, it was pretty sad at the end there. Dude dies. We had this little moment where he, thinks back about his fucking dad and shit, about his hard knock life. And then they like attack on Titan us by being like, "Hey, check my dad's basement."
Yes,
there's something in there. So, what do you guys think? What is in Rengoku's dad's basement?
Probably another sword.
I swear, God. He might straight up just like it might be just like a fucking goose chase.
Yeah.
Or here's an idea: Tanjiro becomes like the multi-omni element fucking Hashira.
Becomes that like Avatar, the master
he like chops you
all 12 Hashiras.
Yeah, he learns fucking water. He fucking learns like fire. He learns love. Or he learns how to forget bullshit. He learns how to ultimate Hashira. He just like every personality. He's like delicious. I love this, and I forget about everything else. Like he will become literally every Hashira there is.
See, what I'm thinking is Tanjiro's dad was like a unlicensed demon slayer. He wasn't part of the squad. He wasn't part of the little clubhouse. He was his own Hashira with his like fire dancing breathing.
Right.
And maybe he shared it with Rengoku's dad because they probably. He was the previous fire fire guy, right? So maybe they crossed paths and they were like, "Hey, that fire breathing is like pretty good. What if you dance a little bit in the middle, and then give him a little kind of scroll, the fucking secret to the fire dancing breathing move, you know? So I mean, that's probably Tanjiro's next power up. You know, he goes and reads this thing and learns his dad's secrets, but also learns that his dad was like a badass demon slayer, and maybe fucking Michael Jackson killed him, and now he's got some extra, you know, shit to go throw down with him.
I got a hot take.
All right.
This is not a hot take, a hot prediction.
All right.
I think because Tanjiro or because fucking Bleach exists, that like Tanjiro's gonna become a half demon or some bullshit like that. Off his mask or some shit, and he's gonna be like, "Yo, check it out, I'm a fucking demon boy," and then it's gonna be something in his bloodline where they're like, "Yeah, like don't worry about us, like we just straight up like we're demons, but we don't eat people because our blood's like that, and that's why Nezuko."
That's why they lived in the countryside, away from civilization.
Like, think about it like this: you never saw Tanjiro's dad in the light. Ooh.
Oh,
got him.
We didn't. So you think maybe Tanjiro's dad is like a demon and his mom is a human, and now he's like a halfie?
Yeah, could be that.
And that means like, so then Tanjiro is like the human dominant half, and then you have Nezuko, which is the like demon dominant half. But like they're like two halves. That's your.
Yeah, I would never bet against him becoming a demon or some shit like that, some fucking Bleach shit.
That is some Bleach shit.
Yeah, fucking dude learns his Bankai.
Bleach shit.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, steam breathing, a little bit of water, a little bit of fire, steam breathing, that's his Bankai.
Steam breathing.
Yeah, kettle breathing,
Well, they've already been doing the breathing exercises. So now, like, when are we going to see them get into the Hammon and then into the stands next, right?
Yeah.
This is like Demon Slayer is secretly just the next season of JoJo, right?
Crossover episode,
right?
So what's Tanjiro's stand? It's just one of those little spritelings that he has in his fucking heart.
Yeah, one of those cute guys.
Yeah.
I'd do it. I'm definitely here for it.
Muzan's gonna be like, "Oh, you're approaching me." All bullshit.
Oh my god! But yeah, and then the movie closes out. They have a big fight. Dude dies in the fucking street, in the middle of nowhere. All the Hashiras get a little messenger crow that are like, "Yo, your dude's dead." Caca.
Yeah, while they're all doing fucking shit all.
Well, he's cutting bamboo dude in the bamboo forest.
One dude is literally just sitting on a rock. It doesn't even look like he's doing it. He's just sitting on a rock
demon. Yeah, that he just killed.
He's just teabagging a rock demon.
Yeah, teabagging a rock demon. What are you supposed to do? But and then the movie closes out. Was there a post-credit scene? I don't think there was. I can't remember now.
I didn't see one. I think it was just credits.
I remember checking, but I don't remember there being one there. So then, the movie closes out. It wraps up nicely. We have no idea what they're doing next. They were just like fucking crying and shit in the morning light.
It would be nice if they actually put it in like some sort of post-credit scene, just to add in to be like, you know what, there's a continuation. Hopefully, it'll give
like the last episode of the series. They're like, hey, here comes the movie.
Right. So.
But yeah, we're definitely left super in the dark here. Nothing to hook us into their next season, I guess, whenever that comes out. Maybe it's winter or something.
Like,
but no,
okay.
No, they're gonna take a fucking year or two because of COVID. Like every other anime studio, it's just like, hey, something you wanted that was coming out. Well, it's delayed because COVID. Every company out there is doing that bullshit right now. They're like,
it's the
hey,
excuse.
Yeah, it's like the best fucking cop out. Like, God, I wish I was still working right now. Cause I could be like, yo, I'm late on the deliverable. Don't worry, it's just because of fucking COVID, dude.
COVID, though. But we can move on to our like wrap up. So let's go down our like list here. See if anybody has any final thoughts on the movie. What you thought about it overall as a whole cinematic a whole cinematic experience. Kazo, out of 10, what are you gonna rate Demon Slayer Mugen Train?
predominantly just put it as like a complete 10. It was a genuine masterpiece. I enjoyed it. Me and Nicole loved it. Through thick and thin. There isn't anything else that we disliked overall. Except that whole. Actually, the only thing I would generally say is that whole Tanjiro yelling at just to bring him back. That was kind of like it's like, yo, dude, your boy's dying. Why you keep yelling still?
Cool, dude.
Yeah, chill. But that's it. Clear, clean, and clear.
All right. Ray, what do you think?
I give it 9 out of 10 because he lost a sword.
Lost the sword.
That
dude.
1 out of 10 means everything, man. Because
Can't
the
have
sword.
10 without the sword there, you know.
And I am just gonna go into actually Bad Race's first thing actually in regards to Tanjiro actually learning more than one reading style and technique, because they actually alluded it in the beginning of the movie, saying that any person that actually has the black sword, usually they die early, but that's because they couldn't choose which style they want to do, and they were able to do all of them. So
okay.
I'm betting with what Bad Race is saying.
A man's gonna be the Rainbow Hashira.
The rainbow.
Exactly. Amen.
Bad Race. What do you think, and what's your score?
I think the movie was well executed. I think, given what it was like, because it is based in Demon Slayer, right? If I ignore the fact that, Demon Slayer does have some of these, like, plot holes and stuff, and just looking at how well the animation was executed, the storytelling, the emotional impact of everything, I give it a 9. It's just missing, just that little oomph. Take it over to, like, the 10. Honestly, if I could, I'd probably give it an 8.5, because, like, even a 9 feels like a little bit high for it, but 8 feels too low,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Shrintek, what's your take? What's your score?
I have to give it like a solid 10 as well. It certainly has its own little problems here and there with like as any anime movie or anime, but all of that gets superseded by its art direction and its art flow. Like that's why I've watched the series like over and over again, and like I love this movie. They really take the time and care to add just a artistic level like of how they do movements, of how they do their swordplay. It's not just about big action scenes and being overpowered. It's about this like dance that they're doing with the characters and their attacks, and I just appreciate all of that so much. 10 out of 10. Fantastic.
No, like totally, definitely not just like a like Transformers fight sequence. We came until the fuck's going on. It's finally for me. I'm gonna give it a like high 9, a higher 9. Definitely 9 out of a 10 for me. There were a couple I guess flaws. I mean, we covered most of them in this past hour here. After finishing it, when I was like in the moment and like hyped up over it, it was probably a 10 for me. But I mean, looking back, reflecting off it, not being caught up in the moment, definitely helps you look at it at a more clear light. And I mean, the CG was, still didn't like it. And then some of the plot holes were like the like higher 5 guy just like showing up. Tundra getting like shanked. Getting super lucky with the like waking up bit. I do think it would have been cooler. Barris mentioned earlier, where maybe it was like Azanetsu having some sort of shining moment. Because that was definitely the perfect conditions for him to like really come out and like be the hero. It's like, hey, everyone's asleep. Who's the most OP when they're asleep? It's this guy. So maybe it would have been cooler if like he just went out like woke everyone up or started the chain reaction that then led to the rest of the movie, whatever. But overall, great film. If you average our scores here, it's like a 9.5, 9.7. Who knows? Very high up there. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. But we're going to move on to the sensation that's been the talk of the town, and the birth of a brand new meme of Think Mark Think. We're talking about Invincible, the Amazon American anime or cartoon, whatever you want to call it, original show based off of a comic book series. Took a lot of people by surprise, and I mean, I think episode 1 really just speaks for itself once you finish it. Once you get to that shining moment here, I would recommend this show by several people. I mean, we talked about it before in the past about how when it comes to watching new shows, I gotta have people tell me to watch it like 4 or 5 times, and then I'm like, okay, this show's gotta be good. If I got like 5 people being like, bruh, have you not seen Invincible yet? And one of the people here that told me to watch it was Bad Rice himself. So Bad Rice, why don't you take us off here on this crazy crazy and wild ride here?
All right. Invincible to me, like, so I like the
you love this show, right?
I love the show, but I'm gonna preface it a little bit. Like the show, in terms, if I had to compare it to an anime, it's definitely, in my opinion, it falls short compared to animes. But when I compare it to like other Western cartoons, and I've seen a few like darker cartoons here and there, Under the Red Hood's a really good example. Big fan of Under the Red Hood used to be my favorite, but it's been overtaken by Invincible, and the reason is, it takes the standard format of a superhero show, and it just adds in what people wanted, where no fucking kids are watching this shit. They're doing fucking Zoomer ass shit right now, They're like, no, people who like these cartoons are usually, in the older ages, and we got smack dab right in the adult section for that shit. Yeah. No one is safe. That fucking kid, oh no, you're gonna be holding onto her arm when she's done this shit, right? Like, everyone can die in this show, and that's what I love about it. And they're not scared to show the gore. It doesn't have a very main stage presence. You're not mainly looking at the gore itself, but everybody can die, and it's just treated like it should be. In an actual superhero movie, people will die. Heroes can't save everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes heroes like to kill heroes. As some of us who've only seen the first episode will agree. Now, just I'll use the first episode as a very good example of how the show really exceeds. It has really good storytelling. There's foreshadowing. There's lots of deep symbolism in the way that all the characters are written. The characters themselves have very realistic personalities written into them. They're not quite they do have their own flaws, but their flaws are, again, realistic and not overpronounced. And as a result, you get this really genuine experience as you're watching, combined with the superhero theme, and then you have just amazing storytelling, lots of good gimmicks, jokes, memes popped into it, and it just ended so well. In my opinion, and I don't want to ruin it for Shrintek because he's gonna watch it still, but the entire show, I feel, has probably one of the most satisfying endings for a show that leaves on a cliffhanger.
Right.
If you guys want to get into spoilers, you can go right ahead. I'm not the kind of person who is spoiled. If I haven't seen something, it doesn't exist. When it comes to medias, it's you talk away if you guys have all seen it.
All right, well, let's talk about how Alan the Alien is the best character in the show.
I mean, he's pretty fantastic. I just want to Alan, voiced by none other than Seth Rogen. I just want to highlight this show has such an incredible voice cast. It's kind of crazy to think how they got all the people together in one show. I mean, we got Stephen Yeun as Invincible. We got J.K. Simmons as Omni-Man. We got Seth Rogen, as Bad Rice mentioned, as Alan the Alien. We got Mark Hamill in here. We got Sandra Owen here. We got Jason Matt Zukas in here, like, oh my god, there's just an all-star cast. It is wild, like super fun, and they all just knock it out of their park. I think what really sells the show is just like the voice acting. I mean, I didn't feel like that there was one weak performance. They all felt like their characters. Nothing felt like weird or like they were just like reading off of a like script, which I mean shouldn't be surprising. A lot of these like actors, this is not their first rodeo.
Yeah.
But yeah, just super wild. And yeah, Alan the Alien, what a random fun cameo of like a character, just as like a kind of a gag, but still like plot relevant.
What about frat dude? My like the Rick and Morty guy from Justin Roiland.
Yeah,
right?
that was Justin Roiland.
Yeah, that was legit him doing the fucking classic voice that he does in Rick and Morty when he's playing one of these other characters, and it was fabulous to listen to.
I know it took me a second. I was like, is that Rick Sanchez?
Right?
Is that legit Justin Roiland doing a stupid Rick voice for like some frat dude? And yeah, it was. I mean, even because I mean we've all seen episode 1. Spoiler alert: fucking everyone dies in the end. Which I mean, I usually say as like a meme for like like a spoiler meme, being like, oh, like have you seen Star Wars? Everyone dies in the end. It's a big like a joke, but everyone does fucking die in the end. But a fun piece of trivia is that the voice actors for the Guardians of the Globe were all starred at one point on The Walking Dead. Which, I mean, is a kind of a little Easter egg where it's like all these Walking Dead characters, die in their own show, and they die in the first episode of this show as like a little kind of joke if you're like in on the cast. Which like I think captures the like tone of the show a bit, where it's like half serious, but also just kind of like goofy and like having fun with itself, I mean, the entire first episode baits you into thinking that it's just like another superhero show. I mean, you got like the ripoff, like the literal ripoff Justice League. You got like a Batman character, you got a Wonder Woman character, you got a Superman character. I mean, you got them all in there. And then at the end, so they pull the rug out and they kill them all. Because let me tell you, when I first started watching it, because Bad Rice was like, dude, the show is so good, it's amazing, you gotta check it out. I was like, fine, I'll check out Invincible, I'll see what's going on. And as I'm watching it, I wasn't really getting it. I was like, this is like some superhero like show. But I heard some like echoes here and there being like, oh, it's realistic, it's gritty, and I'm like, bruh, this is some like Teen Titan shit. It's like some like Young Justice shit. With like, oh, we're gonna fight, we're gonna attack the White House, and like, oh, let's beat them up, and there's no blood, there's no violence. They get fucking punched into the ground, and they go to jail. So I was waiting for it. I was like, Bad Rice, he wouldn't like this show, so something's gotta happen. Something's gotta happen somewhere. All right, so I was just waiting for it. I was waiting for it to happen, and then it happened. At the famous post-credit scene. Or I guess post mid credits. They always do this like post mid credit scene with every episode, which is pretty fun. So I've just been ranting because this show is super fun. Like wow, what a great romp. What do you think, Kazo?
Overall, I enjoyed this whole season to itself. It's a lot longer than most, especially when watching, like, if you guys grew up to like Saturday morning cartoons and it's just half hour of all in between, and you realize it was like, oh shoot, I got 15 more minutes left to keep watching.
It's like the like mini series format that we see a lot of Netflix shows kind of adopting, like the like Queen's Gambit, Shadow and Bone, all these shows that are like 40 minutes long, and they have like 8 to 10 episodes.
Yeah. And what I do like, especially with Invincible, but that transitions, especially when they're like when they're trying to explain, they're like, oh, my name's so and so, and I'm also known as, and then just cuts to Invincible, like the text. That is the title. That was clean.
A good gag, dude.
That was I was like, whoo, all right. It even made me be like, oh, he's gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. Yeah. Invincible. And then bam, that's how it started. I loved it. Going back to this whole thing though, especially with the first episode, Really, first off, Bad Rise pretty much got everyone trying to hype over this whole thing. I'm like, all right, let's take a look, let's see what's going on. I give props for you for at least like getting me on it, the whole train ride of hype. And then afterwards, then came all the whole memes of Think Mark, all that. That's all I'm like, all right, seems like if there's enough memes for it, something's good, right?
Yeah.
Of all things considered. So that being said, though, I really thought it was a kid-friendly season, and I thought I was like, all right, let's just fly by it and see what's up. But dang, it hits you like a Tonka truck hard, man.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I mean, in relation to like let's say the Justice League and stuff and all things like from the usual shows. Right now, I mean, I've been following up on like for the majority of like the movies, the animated movies, they just keep dishing out
Mhm.
like every few months in between.
Yeah.
It's just a. I remember before it was just oh what Justice League for just for all things we're gonna save the world like and do it as as heroes as should be
Mhm.
but that was the whole mantra of it. But then when the whole movies comes out, especially just after Red Hood movie, everything Justice League like ask all DC movies started becoming more darker and darker. And if you guys ever watched Justice League Apocalypse, yeah, that's like everybody literally just no one's safe. Like no
All right.
character is safe as like
So you're
at that
saying that
point.
like Invincible isn't really breaking any new ground. Justice League
Not
was.
really, not at all.
I
But
think
it
it
just
breaks ground in terms of like the level of gore because if you watched Apocalypse, like they killed people, but they didn't exactly like
Have a
let it
dismembered
happen.
arm.
It was just like like yeah, like they
Didn't
didn't
crush a
fucking go
guy's
off and kill
skull.
like kids and show
Yeah,
you
had
like
his
the
eyes pop
fucking
out.
arm of the kid, yo. Like that. This is what like an actual adult film should be, in my opinion, for a cartoon.
Mm.
yeah.
Like, can you really think of any examples from Justice League Apocalypse where it was just like, a child's fucking arm hanging off after this dude literally gets punched through a fucking train?
Yeah.
That
I mean,
no,
I do like to meme sometimes when I'm watching a show where I'm like, wow, does this show kill kids? Because I mean, it's kind of a taboo thing. Shows don't kill kids, they kill adults. But in this show, no, they fucking kill kids. There's several instances where kids are getting fucking like just straight up, just like obliterated, just turned to mashed potatoes. And it's like, damn, like they crossed the line. Like that's a kid's arm, like, oh, like that's this kid from this scene or whatever, from previously this and that, like, oh, just, and I gotta respect it. Like,
yeah.
It's I think Bad Rice mentioned already where yeah, the gore isn't the like forefront of it. It's just there where like it should be. It's like, oh, like if this guy got crushed by something, like this is what it would look like. And here it is. It's not like they're like highlighting it or they're like being like, oh, look at our gore. Look at how gore, look at how like overtly gross and nasty we can make this. It's just like sometimes, someone gets hit by a bus and they look like this afterwards, or like someone gets the like shit punched out of them by like a giant mace, and this is what their face looks like at the end. And I mean,
Yeah, it's not like you get some dude who like legit gets hit with like a fucking bus, like a normal human being like Batman who gets hit with a fucking bus, and it's like, oh, I have a little blood from my lip now, like there's none of that shit.
A little like eyebrow cut. That's a classic one. But yeah, I mean, what I also really liked was that this show had I appreciate when it's hard or there's a main character, right? But the side characters are also have their own shit going on, This show does that very well. I won't spoil too much, but I mean, you have stuff with like the Mauler twins. They come back and they have their own thing going on. You have a robot with like his shit going on, and the Cecil and his like squad of people and their own shit is going on. all while like Invincible is doing his own thing with like his own plot, right? And they do that so well, where a lot of these side characters or like villains, they're just they have their own story, their own shit going on. They're very like fleshed out. By the end, the Mahler twins are like one of my favorite characters. They're just so fun and sick. I'm the like demon the like detective guy. I mean, I thought he was amazing as well. I was like, what the fuck is this? This is some sort of like weird like Hellboy shit. But I mean, it was so much fun. I once it got past it's like a gag in the first episode of like it's like Justice League ripoff that they then systematically kill, and then they introduce all the kind of like original characters with their own powers.
Yeah.
Really shows how this show could be like creative and like break the mold of like a superhero show, it's not like every character is like a rehash of some other character, right?
I like the fact like for Invincible, he has to like not only he's saving like everyone else, like just basically saving the world, while also trying to save his grades from failing.
Yeah.
He's
Yo, I also gotta appreciate. You have to give a little appreciation to the fact, like most superhero films, just show like the superhero like beating, kicking ass, and then like like the results of like hard fights. No, Invincible. This is like get your ass kicked simulator, fucking 2021.
Actually, he gets his ass kicked like every episode.
So much. I've never seen a superhero lose so much on screen.
Actually, like the main character, he gets his ass whooped like so much. It's hard to even believe that he's the main character because you're like, wow, he does nothing but lose. Like he never wins anything. He just gets the like shit out of him every single episode. He's a little less invincible, maybe a little more invincible, as my main man Alan the Alien would say. Ugh.
What about you other guys? What do you think? Let's get someone who's just got that episode 1 opinion so far, just fresh off. What do you think?
I thought it was fantastic, and like I kind of went into it with a weird comparison. Thinking it was just like I had watched The Boys, another Amazon, I think it's on Amazon show. Very similar to this, but it's got such a different vibe of like it's refreshing to see these sort of like animation scenarios, like especially when it comes to superheroes, delving into like the real world stuff, more actual like what's going on. There's people are dying. These are superhumans that are just throwing punches, doing their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's something that's been long missed, I think, in a lot of media, or at least westernized media. There's always been a lot of that in like anime and stuff, but to see it starting to like adult cartoons of this kind of caliber really starting to hit the scene and have such good writing behind it.
Yeah, my one of my major criticisms, I will say, is for me anyway, it really felt like that they knew where to spend their budget for the animation. There are some parts of the show that I mean, it could just be the Western style. I mean, it is a like Western styled show, cartoon, whatever. But there are definitely parts where, you can tell that they like cut some corners. I remember a couple scenes where when a character is moving away from the camera, kind of that they're just kind of like shrinking. They're just like kind of using the like fucking Photoshop free transform tools, just like whoop. Because in episode 1, the big kill all the superheroes scene, wonderfully animated, right? Like you can tell that they put some work into that. But every episode seems to have their kind of highlight moment where there's like their big action moment they spend a lot of time on. Those always look super great. It's those kind of in-between scenes that are sometimes lackluster, where they're standing around or they're talking or they're moving from location A to B. where I mean sometimes the movements are a bit like jittery or like choppy. You know, they may have skipped a frame or two when they're animating. They were like, we could animate this in 6 frames. Let's just do it in 3 frames. We'll just make them jump a little farther. So there was a couple times where that would stick out to me, which I mean is fine. This was a brand new project. It's not like they had a whole lot of like backing, right? It's from a comic that I mean I had never heard of until now.
I mean, with the publishers into itself, I'm pretty sure you would have known Spawn, right? So
Okay.
they're under the same umbrella.
Okay. So that's probably my biggest gripe is that the like fluctuation of quality, it jumps a lot. You know, I'm not sure if you guys have any thoughts about it. Ray, what do you think of the animation there?
Well, the animation itself, I would actually put it a little bit better on par, or sorry, a little bit better than on par with Justice League, like the first one and Unlimited in terms of that. Like, it's something that you pretty much see normal. To me, I think it's something you'd pretty much see normally in all the other like DC like animated shows. That's like in like the early 2000s, early to late 2000s. You know, it's really decent and whatnot. Was there some cuts that was made that I noticed onto it? Not necessarily, just because the story was very fully fleshed out. So it took away like in terms of like I didn't notice it as prevalent. If anything, I was more like for me to actually watch this, I was actually more like you, Offbeat Hero, where people were like telling me like, yeah, you should go watch it. You should go watch it. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm like, for me, I was a little too saturated watching like superhero shows. So I was like, you know, I didn't really want to go and check it out. But then as soon as Bad Rice goes and tells me, it's like, just go watch it, man. And then I watched it, and then I realized it was from Image Comics that that created Spawn and like my earlier favorite ones like Wildcats and things like that.
Yeah,
like
boy.
it brought like it actually brought me towards like all of the late show TV shows that I used to watch. You know, where they're not just all about like, yeah, I'm a superhero and like I kick people's ass and nobody dies. Like this brought like a whole lot of like the realism of like how a superhero should, like if they got superpowers, like what's gonna happen? Are they gonna get their ass kicked? Of course they're gonna get their ass kicked. They're just like, whether they're starting out or they've been doing it for years, you know. And it brought a lot of like realism of like how are they balancing things with like life and things like that.
Right.
And yeah, like that to me was like what made me really enjoy the show so much. And yeah, like kudos to like the old like Wildcat shows and Savage Dragon and stuff, because I watch a lot of that, and it brought a whole lot of, you know, there's so much more to superheroing than actual just being superhero, right? Like, if I don't know if you guys remember like the Deadpool movie where they're like, you know, Colossus is like, yeah, you're not 24/7 a superhero, you know, you just have to go and look for those 4 or 5 moments. Yeah, like, so they are showing those 4 or 5 moments where they're being superheroes, but they're also showing like the other 24 hours, like you're gonna get your ass kicked and you're gonna have problems with life. Yeah. And to me, that's like what makes it like so much better.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting to see like, you know, how these characters react when they're like failing fucking school. And it's like, yo, like they're failing school because they're actually like AFK. Like, it's not like some of those other shows where like the kid's like, yeah, I'm doing well in school, I'm doing great, and then I'm gonna go leave in the middle of an exam to go do fucking superhero shit. Like that doesn't happen, right? But I will argue one thing: I would say it's a lot better, Justice League, because of the way the show leverages impact. Now, what do I mean by impact? I mean the weight of each punch. You feel it a lot more in Justice League. you see Batman, you see fucking Green Lantern, all these characters just like they're like throwing like they're literally throwing fists and like they're hitting the characters. You even see like Superman's heavy hits. Like the man literally comes in at like fucking Mach speed and like punches a dude in the face and straight up like it looks like he just like straight up like gave him like a punch in the face that he like winded up for. That's it.
Yeah.
And then you look Invincible, you feel the impact of every scene. Like, let's give an example. An example I would say is Omni-Man when he's flying through the Flaxians planet, right?
Yeah.
You felt when he was killing and destroying the civilization that it was like intense. You're like, holy shit! You could feel the hits, you could feel the impact. Even in episode 1, each hit had like so much weight to it, and
Yeah.
shows struggle with that. It's very common that they use cheesy sound effects to like hit these characters and like show like, oh yeah, you're getting hurt, they're getting beat up and all this other shit. But like Invincible takes it to the next level where the animations have not only fluidity but a lot of attention put into each frame to show off and showcase the importance of each hit.
Yeah, definitely to like build on that. The scene that I felt also established just like impact with the hits and like the actual weight to them was when that like fucking lion cat dude was just like beating the shit out of Invincible with his like big bass, just like cracks him in the stomach. I was like, holy
man.
shit! Like,
Right,
that was a
Rengar
hit.
went to town on this
Right?
dude.
Oh man, he's
That was
actually
like
also
character.
my favorite characters. He's so sick.
No cap, that character is legit just Rengar from League of Legends. But like,
I mean, he's cool.
he's
I
cool.
like
Yeah,
him.
Rengar is a cool character. I can't wait
Rengar's
for him
cool,
to
dude.
face off against Kha'Zix,
Yeah, fuck yeah. I'd watch that. I mean, a Rengar Kha'Zix like face off in like the like Invincible like world. Hell yeah, dude. Give me that shit.
You might be able to see it in Arcane eventually too.
Maybe.
Like, what he's done juggling, comes to the fucking world, starts fucking ganking Invincible again,
Yeah. But yeah, and then another highlight of this because like it is a superhero show, but it doesn't necessarily feel like a superhero show. It doesn't feel like the kind of Marvel formula that people are tired of. It definitely has its own pacing. It's more like it at times it feels like a mystery show for a lot of it, where you're like, who done it? How's he gonna get away with it? People are trying to piece together pieces of this puzzle, but it's also like a drama. You have all these like inter-character relationships going on, which just kind of elevates the like show past the kind of stereotypical superhero formula of like, hey, there's the bad guy, there's the threat, we have to go and beat the threat, right? Because I'll mention Kate again. She hates superhero shows. She doesn't care for him. She fell asleep during like Endgame. She doesn't give a shit about any of this.
Hey, Alfie, let's put up a new challenge. Try not to say the words super.
No super. All right.
We're starting now.
Starting now. So yeah. So she hates these like meta-human shows with their powers and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, meta-human. You like that one? Mega heroes. How's that?
Oh yeah, I'm down.
But she really liked Invincible. There was a point where we were like 3 episodes left, and she was like, "Kate, Derek, we are finishing Invincible. Like, we're doing it." I was like, "Wow, really? We're gonna finish Invincible right now?" She's like, "Yeah, dude, I have to know what happens. I gotta know." And there was a couple nights like that where we would watch one episode and then it would end with like a little cliffhanger. And she was like, "Dude, I gotta know what happens." So I mean, and this is coming from someone who doesn't like these kinds of shows. Doesn't care for Iron Man or Superman or whatever. We watched the Snyder cut of Justice League, and she's like, who gives a fuck about all these guys? This movie's too long. All the fighting parts, like, I don't even have a nap. I'll stay here for the like drama, but like, the big battle at the end, like, I'm checking out. I'm getting out of here. But not for this show. Not for this show. We were both invested from the end of episode 1 to episode 8. So I mean, even if you're not into, or even if you hear that Invincible is like, oh, there's another one of these like shows with people with powers and they solve problems.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just that, you know. There is a lot more depth to this show, and even people who don't traditionally like this kind of theme, I think, can find something that they like in this show specifically.
Yeah, I think that's real true because I've been getting tired of the whole like Justice League bullshit in a similar way and I'm actually not gonna lie, I'm starting to get tired of Marvel's like kind of writing because honestly the characters are just like it just feels like the same shit. I know it's kind of gonna happen, you know.
Yeah.
Like the weird twist that I'm gonna see is like that one joke that Thor makes, or like, oh, Loki's being a snide asshole again. Oh, crazy, you know. But like, none of that shit ever like feels really human. Like even looking at the entire Avengers series, there is not a single character that I feel is like superhuman, and that's like, okay, when I say superhuman, all of them are superhuman, but like what I mean is they have very human like character writing to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, it takes so much away from like the show, and you don't have these human characters really existing that you can relate to, that you can put yourself in that moment and be able to absorb it. It's all just like, we're super, this is how super people see it. You got like base fucking characters like, oh yeah, like we got Thor, he's like, he only knows about his own world, or Iron Man is just rich as fuck, or Captain America is just super old and he doesn't get fucking memes. Oh wow, crazy dude. Like I can totally see why Kate fell asleep during like Avengers and other shows like that. But yeah, I think I really would welcome like this kind of storytelling, this kind of character writing, implicated more into these shows. And it doesn't always have to be gory for me. A good story goes a long way, but for a long time there hasn't been anything that has reached this level.
Yeah.
And in animation, of course.
Yeah.
All right. Any closing remarks here? I feel like you've covered a lot of this show. I mean, if you haven't checked it out, like, definitely check it out. It's super fun. Surprising, it came out of like Amazon. I mean, usually you see these kind of breakout shows coming out from Netflix, which is kind of funny because I mean, Amazon also produced like The Boys, which is also like trope subverting show about superheroes. They're like, hey, let's do it again. We're gonna do it a cartoon this time. So
and make it 12 times more gory.
Yeah, I mean, The Boys is pretty gory actually.
Yeah.
The first episode has like some kind of extra shock or extra shock value as well, where like some chick gets basically turned into paste because like the Flash, whatever you want to call him, like runs through her by mistake, and it's just like. So they just, I don't know, maybe they're just like, fuck it, let's just do it again.
Eyes coming out of the skull versus some dude or some girl turning into pudding. I don't know, dude.
I mean, you'll have to see it for yourself, I guess, and make.
I think Invincible has a lot more of just like like overlaid gore when they use it. Like they're like I don't know how to really explain it. It's a lot more just kind of in your face about like what's going on. If the eyes popping, it's watching like the blood kind of spurt out. For The Boys, it's like there was one scene where a guy's face is literally burnt through with like a Superman laser vision, and you watch it like slowly disintegrate his skull in front, like on cam. Like it's got a weird, more like surrealism to it in The Boys.
So there you go. I mean, maybe if you like this show, maybe you like The Boys. I've only seen a couple episodes. I think you watched it, so maybe it just didn't like grab me as quickly as this show did.
Yeah. They definitely, from what I can tell, because I've only watched the first episode of Invincible, but I've watched all of The Boys. They're two very different shows.
Yeah, I was about to agree. I agree with that. Like, it is like The Boys. Like so far, it feels more chaotic, you know, and
Mhm.
this show is trying to be more legitimate.
Yeah, I'm just saying that like they both hit a similar note of this like
Mhm.
subverting the superhero trope and being all kind of edgy and gory for the being like this is what superheroes would actually be like kind of thing, right?
Right.
They're both working that same kind of angle. But if there's nothing else, I'll pass off to Kazo to wrap things up for tonight.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you, Offbeat. Actually, just only one last thing though. The fact that with Invincible, like, pretty much have so much garnered so much success off, especially from this animated series as a whole. I'm actually interested to see what other like like old comic book nostalgia like people want to like bring it back to as an animated series. So
Yeah.
I mean, why not? I mean, just to favor to all the like the comic book heads out there. Just like I mean, who would want to have like the old comic books bring back to life one way or another? Not just as a live action, but pure like unadulterated like full on animated or series. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of hidden stuff out there. Guardians of the like Galaxy is a very unknown Marvel IP, right? And they made that movie on kind of a whim, and it's one of the better ones actually.
Yeah.
So it seems like kind of a lot of these kind of hidden gems people don't really care about just because they weren't popular, even though they're not good.
There are going to be like a lot of hidden gems, but like the thing is you'll have to dig through garbage, and I'm just going to straight up say it. A lot of these old comic books they hit different in the wrong ways, you know. Some of them are just too generic, some of them are too basic, and that's just like the nature of comics. And as someone who like collects like a few Deadpool comics here and there,
Right.
like time is definitely the definition or the way that like these comics like evolve, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get like crazy shit like Into the Spider-Verse and stuff, and
Yeah.
Generally like to get to that level, the things have to mature in a certain way, right? And unfortunately, like a lot of old animes and shows and ideas, they're just outdated, I would say. And there's just you have to do a lot of changes to make them work.
Right.
And to me, that just removes the authenticity of them. So I feel like it's kind of hard to make it work, but it's not like impossible.
No, it's fair. Well, does anyone else have anything to add to that? No? Alright. So I guess I'll be closing off then. So for those of you guys still hanging on, thank you guys for basically tuning into our F tier podcast. Anyone else has been missing out, don't fret. It's just going to be on YouTube later on, down probably by next week. So tune in for that. Just follow our YouTube channel under Ichi Gaming. Thank you. Give a shout out to Reichi, Bad Rice, Oppie here, and our newly guest Shrintek for bringing out pretty much all amazing insight and consideration to especially making this episode, episode 10, the best that we can be.
Episode 10.
Yay! And
thanks for having me.
hell yeah, man. And as well to our viewers watching though, and for those of you guys pretty much putting in their channel points, I'm talking to you guys who's trying to make me drink, or at least have Offbeat not say super at this point.
Super.
But you did say super, which actually I was laughing about it. I was like, "Aw."
Me too.
It's all good though. But that being said, please be sure to follow our Discord for future announcements, and also if you guys want to put in a little bit of your intake on like what we want to, what you want to talk about. The fact that any suggestions for future F tier podcasts is definitely appreciated. So definitely look forward to that. Give us your input, and we'll definitely put it in. So if anything, if you want to check us out for more information, my name's Kazo. You can find me under Ichi Gaming, under Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and Discord, and as well as this Twitch as a whole. And I will pass it off to Reichi. Where can we find you, sir?
Well, since I'm the other half of Ichi Gaming, you can pretty much find me anywhere in Ichi Gaming, including Discord. Yeah, when I actually do go and stream, you'll find me streaming at Reichi1 on Twitch. I usually tend to stream a little bit of Nintendo Switch games, so check me
Nice.
out on there. Hopefully, sometimes some PC gaming too as well. So we'll see. Yeah, or if not that, just go and check me out on Discord. That RayIchi1 #9866. You can go and chat with me about pretty much anything and everything, and I'll try and get up to speed with whatever. So
Awesome. And as well, Bad Rice, where can we find you? And I'm pretty sure we all know the answer.
Nowhere.
All right. All
You can
right.
sometimes find Bad Rice on his Twitch channel.
Let's go.
Bad
No, you
Rice,
can't.
Where
That's a lie.
Where he sometimes showcasts, sometimes plays. In
That's a private affair.
Valorant.
you can see him in Valorant.
Yeah.
Well, not really.
His pro casting, you can catch him in his big brain analytics.
There you go. And aside from Bad Rice, that we can find him somewhere else, where can we find you, Offbeat Hero? Tell us where.
You can find me on twitch.tv/offbeat_hero. You can also find me on Twitter under the same handle, where I actually also made my own MTG-themed Invincible Think Mark Think meme. I drew it.
Oh!
It's like
That's pretty good.
Photoshop. It's terrible.
Wait, where is it?
It only makes sense in the context.
Alright, we need
of
a link.
Magic.
I don't
You
care.
want a link,
Send it.
dude?
Yeah,
You
send
want
it.
a link? All right, I'll
Send
get
us-
Send it.
Send the
you can
link.
also find me on YouTube under the same handle where all my previous VODs have gone up. Look forward about a week from now or so. I'll be uploading a VOD of my participation in the Man Trader series for this month. I have qualified for their tournament, so we'll see if we can win some big bucks.
Really? Like,
Yeah.
how are we talking big money? How much we talking?
I don't know. Let me check. I'll pass off the Shrintek while I both get his
$70,000.
tweet and the prize money for this.
Shoot!
tournament here.
Nice. Oh, and also shout outs to Jurassic Clark for pretty much putting Bad Rice on the map on chat. I mean,
What?
you definitely.
Oh, oof.
Been
I mean,
exposed.
you said nowhere, but apparently Twitch chat does not lie. But
And I had to make a Twitch account.
and as
But,
well, oh yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
All right. And last but not least, our Pokemon master here, Shrintek. Where can we find you?
Currently, nowhere. I basically only exist on Discord and Steam. But for that, like, soon though. We've got a Twitch account, a YouTube channel. We've got it all in the works. A studio slowly being set up, and eventually, at least a little bit of content being put out there in the world.
And I understand
So
that you're a DJ, right?
Kind of. I do a little bit of music production, but I've done nothing like professional.
Nice.
Again, we've got a lot of things in the works. A lot of things.
Yeah. And as well, thank you again for at least pretty much putting in your awesome words as our guest here. Like, much appreciated.
Thank you.
All right. With that being said, though, thank you guys for watching. And as always, though, and remember, you got nothing to fear when you're at the bottom because there's no fear in F tier. Have a good night, guys.
Peace. Thanks.